So I'm going to pick out some of the more difficult ones. I feel like fractions tend to be the harder ones. So we're going to start with number 2. What would you do to both sides? Multiply by 4. Cool. And let's just keep everything like that and we'll get through a good bit of this. I want to try and do as much of it for you as I can. So that will give you t minus 7 equals 44. And then you would plus 7. And that would give you, what's that, 51? Okay, thank you. And see, so, okay, yes, there's 32 questions, but if you know what you're doing, how long did that take? Like, it's gonna be okay. You just have to come in knowing what you're doing. All right, I'm gonna also do 3 and 4. I'm gonna do the ones that have fractions in because I know that that can, be the harder ones. First thing you're gonna do is add 4. So you'll have 3/4 n equals 30. Now the way you cancel out a fraction is multiply by the reciprocal. You just flip it over. So what's your reciprocal of 3/4? 4/3. Multiply both sides by 4/3. They're going to cancel. And I realize you would have a calculator. You would type in 30 times 4/3 and you will get 40. You multiply by 4/3. And then I'm going to do number 4 again. I'm trying to pick out the tougher ones, and I feel like fractions are tougher. Okay. So you would subtract 6. Now, everything is negative here. Negative 51 and negative 6 would give you negative 57. Again, you'd have access to your calculator. And then what would be the last step there? Good. Multiply by 3. And again, you'd have a calculator. This would be negative 171. I think the rest of those on this side of the page aren't too bad. Maybe let's do one of the ones that has parentheses in it. Like let's do 7. That looks like a longer one. So first step, we're going to distribute the 6. That'll be 6r plus 12. And then basically you just have to recopy the rest of that. Pep talk, you can do it. Go team. Just rewrite what's there. Just don't do a copy error. Yeah, now when it looks really long, you want to combine the like terms together. So 6r minus 4r would be what? Good, that'll be 2r. And then again, basically you just recopy the rest of that. So then we're going to subtract 12. 2r equals negative 22. Divide by 2, and it is negative 11. Remember, I can't grade what you've done in your head. I can only grade what's written. So you have to write all your steps. Okay. Also, that way, if you make an error, I can figure out like what your thought process was, and I can give you partial credit. Okay. So let's look to the next page. Again, I won't have time to do them all. I'm trying to pick out like some of the tougher ones. So let's do these ones that have words, because I know the word problems can be a little bit harder. Let's do 10 and 11. 4 times, all right, so it's going to be 4 times something. The sum, that tells us 2 things. First of all, sum means what? Addition, and it means in parentheses, because we're going to have to distribute. Good, you guys are awesome. Okay, so in here, we're going to be adding 3 times a number, so that's 3x, and then plus 5, good, equals 8. And then you would solve it from there. If you get stuck and you can't like figure out how to write the equation, make up an equation and solve it, because I can give you something for that. Okay, we just zoned out a little there. So then we're going to distribute the 4. That will be 12x plus 20 equals 8. Then what? Minus 20? So 12x, you guys are trying to jump straight to the answer, equals negative 12, good, divide by 12, negative 1, good. And again, you'd have a calculator, but 12 divided by 12 is 1, it's just negative. So let's do the other word problem there. During the summer, you work 30 hours per week at a gas station. You earn $8.75 per hour. This is obviously not really updated. But what would you want to do with those two numbers? If you work this many hours and make this much per hour, what would you do with those two numbers?
30 times 8.
Yeah, good. 30 times 8.75. I'll type that in the calculator for us. I don't know what that one is off the top of my head. Now, plus, because that's what you make at the gas station. Now, you also work as a landscaper. You make $11 per hour, and we don't know how many hours you work. So it would be plus 11x. Good, because that's the unknown. Good, you guys are really good with knowing where to put the variable. And then we want to set that equal to, how much do we want to make? 400. So let me type in the calculator. Do I have a calculator handy here? Let's see. 30 times 8.75. 262.5. Plus 11x equals 400. And then you would subtract the 262.5. And I will, again, type that in for us. 400 minus 262.5. You want to give it a guess?
238.
137.5. And then your last step, divide by 11. So in here, I'm going to divide that by 11. 12.5. Now it's 12.5 what? Hours. That's how many hours you would need to work as the landscaper. So you'd be working 30 hours per week at the gas station and then 12 and a half hours as a landscaper. That's like more than full time. Now let's pick one of these three. Actually, let's do 14. Oops. Okay, so we're gonna look at number 14. Now, be careful, you're gonna distribute not a 3, but a -3. Good. So that will be 2 minus 12x minus 3, because -3 times 1 will give you -3, equals, and then you basically just need to copy the rest of that. Now, it looks really long, so what are we gonna have to do? Combine like terms. Good. So 2 minus 3. 2 minus 3. Good. -1 minus 12x equals, and then again, you're going to copy all the rest of that over. And then you would try to get the x's together, but what's going to happen? Yeah. Now, why is it no solution? Because that's correct. Yeah, this is like an untrue statement, right? That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, go ahead.
So, like, on the text, you did this question. Did the actual math form? You still got no solution?
Well, that's why I read through all your steps. So like I would check everything. And if you make an error, I'm going to take off. Usually if it's something silly or little like a negative sign, I would take off like half a point. It kind of depends on like how big your error is. Sorry, was there another question over here? Okay. Okay, we can do a couple words. What?
I just checked, but the variable I did, I subtracted 9.
Yeah, you would still get the same answer either way, so it should still be no solution. I'll come and look at it when we're finished here. Yeah, I'm on this page right now, so just hold on a second. Are there any on this page that look like a really scary one that we need to do? How about these proportions down at the bottom? Let's just pick one. Which one of these? Maybe 18 or 19? Let's do 19. All right, give each of these a hug. And we're gonna cross this way. Well, it doesn't matter which way you cross first. I just always start with the top left. So it'll be 6 times b plus 5 equals, and then cross the other way, 4 times b plus 9. After that, it's really just like any of the other equations. We're going to distribute the 6. That'll be 6b plus 30. And then what will you get if you distribute the 4? Good, 36. Awesome. And then get the variables all together. So subtract 4b. It's funny, you guys are all just doing the problem. I'm probably like behind you. All right, subtract 30. I got 2b equals 6. And so what is our answer? B equals 3, perfect. So once you cross multiply, it's the exact same as any other equation. All right, so yeah, let's flip over. We'll do one of these word problems, either 20 or 21. Did you say you wanted 21? Yeah, let's do one of these. We'll do 21. So a locomotive, that's a funny word. Do you know what a locomotive is?
Yeah.
It's a train. Okay, just checking. I mean, we don't use them really anymore much, so. All right, a train is 58 feet long and 11 feet wide. So the two things that are going on are long and wide, like the length, however long it is, and however wide it is. Do you have to write that? No, but it's my suggestion. So you remember what goes on the top and what goes on the bottom. So it's 58 feet long and then 11 feet wide. Equals, now, like that's the actual train. If you do like a model of it, you get that it'll be way smaller, right? But in proportion, okay? So special effects designers making a model that's 20 inches long. So where does the 20 go? On the top. So if you write this, then that'll be a reminder. We're looking for the other dimensions. So what should we put there? X. That's just like that's what you're looking for. That's your variable.
So cross multiply.
Good. We're going to cross multiply. And I'm sorry, what were you going to say? Okay. 58x equals 20 times 11.
222.
Just 220. And then divide by 58. I will type that in for us. It is 3.8. Now you want units because it's a story problem. It is inches because we're talking about the like model of it. Cool. We'll do a couple of these and then we'll do a couple of the inequalities. These are the ones where you have to get a variable by itself. Remember that on these, what you want to do is nothing. Do nothing. You can't simplify any of this down. Like A plus B doesn't equal a different letter. It's just A plus B. Okay, so you would just leave it. Which one looks the scariest? And we'll do that. So I know these can't. Probably one of these two. Let's do 25. Okay. Solve for F. That means leave F where it is. Bless you. Get everything else to the other side. How do you cancel out a 5/9? Yep, reciprocal. Good. 9/5. Multiply 9/5 to both sides. So that will give you 9/5c equals F minus 32. Do you know what this is? This is an actual formula. Do you know what the F and the C stand for? Like it is a real formula in real life. It's Fahrenheit and Celsius. Yeah, it's converting between Fahrenheit and Celsius. And then, yeah, is like that would be 0 for Celsius. Yeah. And then what would your last step be? Yeah, add 32. And you will just leave it as 9/5 C plus 32. Like you really just need to do nothing for those. They don't simplify down because it's just like the alphabet threw up on your paper. Like you would just leave it, like just do it like a regular equation, but there's like, yeah, just take everything out of its life. The variable you want by itself, leave it where it is, take everything out of its life. All right, and then let's just do a couple of these inequalities. I feel like you guys have been doing okay with these. On this page, let's do one of the ones you have to graph. Bless you. Do you want to do 28 or 29? And yeah, 29 has a negative, so it looks like the harder one. All right, so we're going to take that negative and distribute it. When you distribute a negative, all that's going to happen is everything flip-flops. So it'll be 8c and then what? Negative C. Good. And then positive 5. Good. You're just distributing the negative. It's just gonna change, it's gonna opposite everything, or it's going to negate everything. Greater than C plus 17. Now I realize when we were playing Battleship, you're hurrying, but a lot of you did change that to an equal sign. So just like try to remember, like, don't do a copy error. All right. And then like terms, 8C minus C, 7C, and then basically just recopy everything else. I know that's annoying, but you can do it. You're just rewriting what's there. And then you want to get the variable all together. So subtract C. Good. 6C plus 5, and then just copy. It is exactly like solving an equation. It's no different. It's just if you divide by a negative, you have to remember to flip the little alligator mouth around. Good, subtract 5. That'll be 12.
Divided by 6, which is 2.
Good. C does not equal to.
C is greater than.
Good. Now, I am not picky about my number lines. There's only 3 things you have to put on them. What do we have to put on here?
Number, circle.
The circle.
Or-
the first number line.
Sorry, the number is not C. The number is 2. There we go. What kind of circle does this one get? Open.
Right.
Greater than is to the right. Can you give me an example of a number that's part
4.
of that answer?
14.
39.
14, 39.
Anything higher than 2.
How about 2 itself?
No.
No.
161.
At 17, because that's 3 minutes.
167 million.
All right, this is the last page. I see a lot of words. Do you want to maybe pick one of these?
31.
32.
I said 31 first. 30. 31. 30. 31. 30.
Let's do 31. All right,
30 because it has close
4 times the number, so that would just be 4x. Now it says less 8. That's a really weird way to say that, but that means subtract 8 is at least. At least is tough. If I say I need at least a certain amount of money, it means I need that much or more. So it is greater than or equal to 5 times the number would be 5x. And then we're going to solve that. So you would, now usually I say to move the variable to the left, but do you see how there's not any other number over here?
Yeah.
Yeah, so in that case, I would actually move it right. You'll get -8 greater than or equal to, oh, actually, that's just x, so we're done.